Blog Talk Radio.
Read it. Verse 12. Amos chapter 8, verse 12. And they shall wander from sea to sea. And they shall wander from sea to sea. That means you're going from this place to this place. Well, let me go over here. Oh, Islam, I don't know. I don't like that. Well, let me go over to the Christian church. Oh, I don't know. Well, maybe let me go into Hinduism. Well, I don't know. I don't like this church because this preacher said this. I don't like this church because this preacher said that. Let me tell you, if you were in the Word, it wouldn't matter what the preacher would say. If you was in the Word, you'll be able to see over what he's teaching. But you're going from sea to sea, all over the place. Read. Amos chapter 8, verse 12. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. Go ahead. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Most High, and shall not find it. You're going to wish one day you was able to sit in your cushy house and cut on your computer and see the word of the Most High. You're going to long for that time. You're going to wish you had that opportunity. Soon reading the Bible is going to be against the law of the earth. Soon. They're moving everyone into a new age movement. And the only thing you can believe in is yourself. Is yourself. And you are being programmed. That's going to be the belief system. Yourself. That's the new age movement. How grim and dark the government of this earth is. That all of them are in league and are in bed with Satan. That's the truth. Not one of them are with the Most High. Why? Because this kingdom was given into the hand of Satan. Job 9 and 24 tells you the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. So in order for you to rule in this government, you must go to Satan to get your power. He tried to offer it to Christ. Christ denied it. But who took it? All the governments in this earth who will soon pay. They live lavishly in this earth off the bones, blood, sweat, and tears of the children of Israel. Yes, but now they have to pay. It's time. All these wars in the earth are culminating. They're leading to their own demise. And we're just the people with no weapons. This is our weapon. The only thing we have is this, Christ, in the name of the Most High, and we'll win.
And it's the music of Lionel Jones taken from the CD, Papa Jones CD. Well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you and yours, wherever you are on the World Wide Web. You are listening to Let's Talk, brought to you by the Men Empowered organization on the Blog Talk Radio Network at blogtalkradio.com. Good evening, Israel, and to everyone else, how is everyone on this great evening right here in the greater Hattiesburg, Mississippi? It is November the 7th, 2013, and tonight's episode is the Book of Jasher, chapter 81 through 83. Hopefully everyone is doing fine. We're going to go ahead and get started momentarily. Just want to let you know that we will be on tomorrow night, late night, right here with the Book of Jasher. We are just about getting ready to conclude the Book of Jasher, and it is 91 chapters, and you know we've just about got just a few chapters left to go. It has been several months that I can say that we are just about getting Jasher. Well, if you're joining us for the very first time, if you have any questions or comment, you can always press 1 on your phone and we will plug you right into our show conversation. And don't forget, when we are here not on the air, you can always give us a call at area code 504-484-9388, or you can send an email to us right here at menempoweredtoprosper@yahoo.com. And yes, we are on twitter.com, and that's menempowered@twitter.com. And yours truly, Maurice Herron, is right there on facebook.com. All right, my name is Brother Malachi, my Hebrew name, and we're going to get underway momentarily with the Book of Jasher, chapter 81. Chapter 81 of the Book of Jasher, and Jasher is mentioned in Joshua chapter 10, verse 13, and Jasher 81, verse 1. And the children of Israel journeyed from Rames to Succom, about 600,000 men on foot, besides the little ones and their wives. Verse 2. Also a mixed multitude went up with them, and flocks and herds, even much cattle. Verse 3. And the soldiering of the children of Israel, who dwelt in the land of Egypt in hard labor, was 210 years. Verse 4. And at the end of 210 years, the Most High brought forth the children of Israel from Egypt with a strong hand. Verse 5. And the children of Israel traveled from Egypt and from Goshen and from Rames, and encamped in Succom on the 15th day of the 5th month. Verse 6. And the Egyptians buried all their firstborn, whom the Most High had smitten, and all the Egyptians buried their slain for 3 days. Verse 7. And the children of Israel traveled from Succom and encamped in Ethel at the end of the wilderness. Verse 8 in chapter 81. Verse 8, chapter 81. And on the 3rd day, after the Egyptians had buried their firstborn, many men rose up from Egypt and went after Israel. It says it right here, many men rose up from Egypt and went after Israel to make them return to Egypt, for they repented that they had sent the Israelites away from their servitude. Verse 9. And one man said to his neighbor, surely Moses and Aaron spoke to Pharaoh, saying, we will go a 3 days journey in the wilderness and sacrifice to the Most High our God. Verse 10. Now therefore let us rise up early in the morning and cause them to return. And it shall be that if they return with us to Egypt, to their masters, then shall we know that there is faith in them. But if they will not return, then will we fight with them and make them come back with great power and a strong hand. Verse 11, and all the nobles of Pharaoh rose up in the morning, and with them about 700,000 men. And they went forth from Egypt on that day, and came to the place where the children of Israel were. Verse 12, all the Egyptians saw, and behold, Moses and Aaron and all the children of Israel were sitting before Pi-hahiroth, eating and drinking and celebrating the feast of the Most High. Verse 13, and all the Egyptians said to the children of Israel, surely you said we will go a journey for 3 days in the wilderness and sacrifice to our God and return. Verse 14, now therefore this day makes 5 days since you went. Why do you not return to your masters? Verse 15, and Moses and Aaron answered them, saying, because the Most High our God has testified in us, saying, you shall no more return to Egypt, but we will be taken ourselves to a land flowing with milk and honey, as the Lord our God swore to our ancestors to give to us. Verse 6, and when the nobles of Egypt saw that the children of Israel did not hearken to them to return to Egypt, they girded themselves to fight with Israel. Verse 17, and the Most High strengthened the hearts of the children of Israel over the Egyptians, that they give them a severe beating, and the battle was sore upon the Egyptians, and all the Egyptians fled from before the children of Israel, for many of them perished by the hand of Israel. Verse 18, and the nobles of Pharaoh went to Egypt and told Pharaoh, saying, the children of Israel have fled, and will no more return to Egypt. And in this manner did Moses and Aaron speak to us. 19, and Pharaoh heard this thing, and his heart of all his subjects were turned against Israel, and they repented that they had sent Israel, and all the Egyptians advised Pharaoh to pursue children of Israel to make them come back to their burdens. Now, see, here we go again, where these hard-headed Egyptians already had all this turmoil going on. The Most High brought plagues to them. We talked about this last night, about all these frogs go everywhere. And then for their firstborn to be born and raise them up, all of a sudden they are dead. And now they saying, let them go. And now they want the Israelites back in captivity. Now they're really testing the Most High's patience, these Egyptians. Verse 20, and they said each man to his brother, what is this which we have done, that we have sent Israel from our servitude? Verse 21, and the Most High strengthened the hearts of the Egyptians to pursue the Israelites, for the Lord desired to overthrow the Egyptians the Red Sea. Now, here the Most High is getting ready to show them again that, well, you didn't have enough, now you really finna get it. Verse 22, and Pharaoh rose up and harnessed his chariot, and he ordered all the Egyptians to assemble. Not one man was left except the little ones and the women, taking the whole. Now see, here's the Most High. Here it is again. He is emptying out the entire nation of Egypt, going after the Israelites, because he thinks he can overtake Pharaoh. Speaking of Pharaoh, he thinks he can overtake Israel again and bring them back into captivity. After all that Joseph did, now they done had the Israelites in captivity for all these years, over 210 years, and now they think they can get them back like that after the Most High showed them that. Okay, they want to do it like that. All right, and the whole of this camp went and pursued the children of Israel, verse 24, to bring them back to Egypt, and they reached them encamping by the Red Sea. Verse 25, and the children of Israel lifted up their eyes and beheld all the Egyptians pursuing them, and the children of Israel were greatly terrified at them. And the children of Israel cried to the Most High. Verse 26. Verse 26. And on account of the Egyptians, the children of Israel divided themselves unto 4 divisions, and they were divided in their opinions, for they were afraid of the Egyptians, and Moses spoke to each of them. Verse 27. The first division was of the children of Reuben, Simeon, and Issachar. You all know who the children are in today. Remember, the children of Reuben are the Seminole Indians as well as the Aborigines of Australia. Simeon is the Dominicans in the Dominican Republic, and Issachar is the Mexicans who are from the tribe of Issachar. And they resolved to cast themselves into the sea, for they were exceedingly afraid of the Egyptians. Verse 28, and Moses said to them, fear not, stand still and see the salvation of the Most High, which will effect this day for you. Verse 29, the second division of the children of Zebulun, Benjamin, and Naphtali, and they resolved to go back to Egypt with the Egyptians. You got Zebulun, the Panamanians, as well as the tribe of Benjamin, who are the West Indies, as well as the Jamaicans, and Naphtali is your Hawaiians and your Pacific Islanders. These are the descendants of those tribes. Verse 30, and Moses said to them, fear not. As you have seen the Egyptians this day, so shall you see them no more forever. Verse 31, the third division of the children of Judah and Joseph, and they resolved to go to meet the Egyptians to fight with them. Now we know that the tribe of Joseph was his 2 children of the Egyptians' wives that he has were Manasseh and Ephraim. Those are your Puerto Ricans as well as the Cubans. Now Judah is your what we call today your African Americans. Your African Americans make up the tribe of Judah, and that represents the United States as well as Canada. Why do I say Canada? Because the free Negroes from America went into Canada, therefore they are still a part of Judah, because we are the descendants of those slaves that came to the United States as slaves here in the America, as well as some that are in Brazil today. Verse 32, and Moses said to them, for the Most High will fight for you, and you shall remain silent. Now, the breakdown of all the children and the prophecies among all the people can be found in Genesis chapter 49. Verse 33, and the fourth division was of the children of Levi, Gad, and Asher. Asher, the tribe of Asher, are your black Argentinians, your India population of Argentina, as well as your North American tribe, which is the tribe of Gad. Levi, the tribe of Levi descendants are the Haitians in Haiti today. These are your descendants of these particular tribes. And they resolved to go into the midst of the Egyptians to confound them. And Moses said to them, remain in your stations and fear not. Only call unto the Most High that he may save you out of your hands. Verse 34. Verse 34. And this Moses rose up from amidst the people, and he prayed to the Most High and said, O Lord my God of the whole earth, save now thy people whom thou didst bring forth from Egypt, and let not the Egyptians boast that power and might as are theirs. Verse 36. So the Most High said to Moses, why dost thou cry unto me? Speak to the children of Israel that they shall proceed, and do thou stretch out thy rod upon the sea and divide it, and the children of Israel shall pass through it. You all know the story of how the Israelites passed through the Red Sea, and the Most High brought forth the waters from each side, and they passed through onto dry land. Verse 38. And the waters of the sea were divided into 12 parts, and the children of Israel passed through on foot with shoes, as a man would pass through a prepared road. Verse 39. And the Lord manifested to the children of Israel his wonders in Egypt and in the sea by the hand of Moses and Aaron. Verse 40. And when the children of Israel had entered the sea, the Egyptians came after them, and the waters of the sea resumed upon them, and they all sank in the water, and not one man was left excepting Pharaoh, who gave thanks to the Lord and believed in him. Therefore the Lord did not cause him to perish at that time with the Egyptians that were pursuing him. With the Egyptians that he had ordered to pursue. Verse 41. And the Most High ordered an angel to take him from amongst the Egyptians, who cast him upon the land of Nineveh, and he reigned over it for a long time. Now, you see what the Most High God was merciful upon Pharaoh. Now, isn't that something? Absolutely amazing. Verse 42, and on that day the Lord saved Israel from the hand of Egypt, and all the children of Israel saw that the Egyptians had perished, and they beheld the great hand of the Lord in what he had performed in Egypt and in the sea. 43, then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto Israel, saying in concert, saying, I will sing to the Lord, for he is greatly exalted. The horse and the rider has he cast into the sea. Behold, it is written in the book of the law of God. That reminds me of a song that we used to sing in the church back in my charismatic Pentecostal days. That particular song with that particular verse. Verse 45. After this, the children of Israel proceeded on their journey and encamped in Myrah. And the Lord gave to the children of Israel statutes and judgments in that place in Myrah. And the Lord commanded the children of Israel to walk in all his ways and to serve him. Verse 46. And they journeyed from Myrah and came to Elim. And in Elim were 12 springs of water and 70 date trees. And the children encamped there by the waters. 47. And they journeyed from Elim and came to the wilderness of Sin. And on the 15th day of the second month after their departure from Egypt. 48. At the manna to the children of Israel to eat. And the Lord caused food to rain from heaven for the children of Israel day by day. Now he was getting them to get into the habit of believing them for their daily bread, not to store up, but to believe him on a daily basis. Verse 49. And the children of Israel ate the manna for 40 years, and the days that they were in the wilderness until they came into the land of Canaan to possess it. Verse 50, and they proceeded from the wilderness of Sin and encamped in Alush. Verse 51, and they proceeded from Alush and encamped in Rephidim. That's spelled Rephidim. Verse 52, and when the children of Israel were in Rephidim, Amalek, the son of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, the brother of Zepho, came to fight with Israel. All right, now here comes Zepho again, that they have to deal with the descendants of the 12 tribes. They defeated them once. Now they got to deal with them again after their after their captivity of Egypt. Now that they're free from the Egyptians, now they got to deal with Esau and his lineage again. Verse 53, and he brought with him 801,000 men, magicians and conjurers, and he prepared for battle with Israel in Rephidim. 54, and they carried on a great and severe battle against Israel, and the Most High delivered Amalek and his people into the hands of Moses and the children of Israel, and into the hand of Joshua, the son of Nun, the Ephraite, the servant of Moses. Okay, verse 55, and the children of Israel smote Amalek and his people at the edge of the sword. But the battle was very sore upon the children of Israel. Now, everybody, let me just explain this to you all. Everybody knows where their roots are, what tribe or what father of the tribe they're from. There's 12 sons of Jacob, and they taught their children to pass on their heritage so they would know where they're from. Remember in the movie Roots, remember Kunta Kinte? Kunta Kinte remember his genealogy of where he came from. Remember Alex Jones when he went over to was still trying to find his father's family? They listened to generation after generation after generation. They knew their family. They knew where they were from. So this is the same, and this is our culture of where we came from, knowing who we are. But we want to fast forward. Here in the Americas, we lost heritage, so to speak, because our slave masters of this time forbid us to read. So therefore, we lost our heritage, but our heritage was never lost, because it is in our history book that we call the Bible. The Bible is the children of Israel's history book, and it is also, so to speak, the birth certificate of our people. That is why we have all the names that you see in the Bible today. So it's not a matter of that, why they got all these names up in there. That is a book of records. This is where you can find your heritage and all the prophecies kind of letting you know where the people of Israel are in the earth today can be found right there in that Bible. Now, the information that you're seeing right now in the book of Jasher, this right here was forbidden knowledge to the children of Israel here in the Americas, also known, the Bible calls it Oseret. Remember I said on the thing that we've did before that Oseret is another name for North and South America. And we're going to talk about that at the end of this chapter on our commentary on WJMG 92.1 on your FM dial. Verse 55. And the children of Israel smote Amalek and his people at the edge of the sword, but the battle was very sore upon the children of Israel. That was 55 again. 56. And the Lord said to Moses, write this thing as a memorial for thee in the book, and place it in the hands of Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant, and thou shalt command the children of Israel, saying, when thou shalt come to the land of Canaan, thou shalt utterly efface the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Verse 57. And Moses did so, and he took the book and wrote upon it these words, saying, remember what Amalek, 58, remember what Amalek had done in the road when thou wentest forth from Egypt. 59, who met thee in the road and smote thy rear, even those that were feeble behind thee, when thou wast faint and weary. Verse 60, therefore it shall be when the Lord thy God shall have given thee rest from all thy enemies round about in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance, to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven, and thou shalt not forget it. 61. And the king who shall have pity on Amalek, or upon his memory, or upon his seed, behold, I will require it of him, and I will cut him off from among his people. And Moses wrote all these things in a book, and enjoined the children of Israel respecting all this matter. Now, we are getting ready to go into chapter 82, but first we are going to take a music break, and we will be right back after this with today's commentary from WJMG. From the nation of Uganda, here's Winston McCosta, Breathe in Me.
Breathe in me, Lord, in me, Lord, breathe in me, Lord, breathe in me, breathe in me, Lord, in me, Lord, breathe in me, Lord, breathe in me. Lord, I know I'm supposed to be your temple, and I know I'm supposed to to live eternally with you, yeah. Breathe in me. This is my prayer, Lord. In me, that you breathe in me today. You revive me for service once again. I've been dead, Lord. Today is my day. And you breathe in me your life. Hey, hey, come on. Come on, Lord. Today, resurrect my body. Breathing in your light. I want to live eternally with you.
Welcome you to this week's edition of the Men Empowered Commentary right here on the Pine Belt's original Urban FM. It is Thursday, November the 2nd, 2013. My name is Brother Malachi of the Men Empowered Organization. As always, we wish to thank Mr. Vernon C. Floyd and his staff for inviting us here to share with you absolute knowledge and truth. We can be reached at 601-297-2927 and online at menempoweredtoprosper@yahoo.com. And our web address is www.blogtalkradio.com/Men Empowered. We want to apologize for technical problems on our part. We found out that we had faulty CDs that was purchased from a vendor and was discarded. We realized we had some information that was not mentioned due to the faulty CDs. In review of the things we have learned about who we are according to the Bible, we found out in the 1611 edition of the King James Bible that 14 books were deleted from the edition given us today, 66 books of the Bible. Many have speculated and wondered what happened to the other 10 tribes of Israel in the Bible. It has been often speculated that the 10 tribes have been destroyed or are in the spirit, are of so-called African American descent, or of so-called indigenous descent. After carefully researching and studying with the scriptures and history, we have concluded that the 10 lost tribes of Israel are of so-called Latino and Chicano and Indian descent. First, we must remember that the tribe of Israel were doomed to be cursed for disobedience. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 15 through 68 speaks of that. While some have concluded that these curses apply to the so-called African Americans only, historically and prophetically, we have found also that the history of the so-called Latinos and Indians are indeed a part of the curses from our fathers. We have a kindred spirit, history, and legacy that cannot be ignored. Utilizing the Bible, historical references, and geographics, we will attempt to prove that the so-called Latinos and Native Americans of indigenous descent are indeed part of the 12 lost tribes of Israel. Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord declared that the legacy of his people was to be special above all people upon the earth. When considering what the word special means, words such as peculiar, different, distinctive, separate, and distinguished should come to mind. The Lord placed a spirit within our people that was to be distinctive and different from all the other nations. This spirit will make the other nations envious of our talents, gifts, and warrant praise of our abilities. The so-called Latinos and Native American of indigenous descent bear a spirit within them that is only comparable to the so-called African Americans. Mentally, physically, and spiritually, we have all endured a similar path in life that can only be understood when connecting through the Bible. The Artes, the Olmecs, the Toltecs, the Tinos, the Barudas, the Mayans, the Cherokee, the Muscogee, the Blackfoot, the Apache, just to name a few, all have distinctive historical legacies and a special spirit that can only come from the Most High God. All have suffered massive destruction, their lands being stolen, slavery, oppression, robbery, rape, false treaties, deceit, and other numerous heresy acts. Yet all have endured and continue to thrive. Leviticus 26 verses 44 and 46. One of the curses that befell the tribes was a mass scattering and dispersion from Israel. In 2011, my wife and I took a cruise trip to Cozumel, Mexico. This was the first time being outside of the United States. What a time we had, not only on the ship, but in Mexico itself. There we explored the history of the Mexican people. While on the ship, looking at the island of Cozumel, as well as looking at the mainland in Mexico, you could see the Mayan pyramids. This was a popular attraction of the cruise. I often wondered, how can this be over here when it resembles the pyramids in Egypt? The answer can be found in 2 Esdras chapter 13 verses 40 through 45, one of the books that was deleted from your 1611 edition of the King James Bible. And it reads, 2 Esdras chapter 13 verses 40. These are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osiris the king, whom Somalner, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. Verse 41, but they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. I repeat, where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep the statutes which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river. Verse 44, for the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood, till they were passed over. Verse 45. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Osiris. These descending children all had the same father, but different mothers, making up the 12 tribes of Israel. When you look at our time in Egypt and wonder how the same work get over to this side of the world, just remember, all 12 tribes were once together in slavery in Egypt by the Egyptians. Remember, we are from one of Noah's son, Shem, and the Egyptians are from Noah's other son, Ham. So in case you were wondering, when you see our brothers in the neighborhood that we once dominated, just remember the fact that this is the Most High's doing, joining his brother Issachar and Gad back to his brother Judah. This means because in Revelation chapter 6, verse 4 through 8, this is describing the 144,000, and that can only be from these tribes. You are witnessing the Most High God fulfill his word as we speak. The views and opinions of this commentary is strictly of the Men Empowered organization and not the opinions of this radio station. My name is Brother Malachi, and this is our commentary. Shalom. And we are back right here on Let's Talk. You just heard our commentary that was played today, or yesterday I should say, yesterday on WJMG right here locally in the greater Hattiesburg and Laurel, Mississippi area. That's every Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we are back in chapter 82 of the Book of Jasher. On that commentary that I just read to you that was on our commentary from yesterday, because it's now Thursday, Central Time Zone, we talked about Osiris. This land was known as Osiris for quite some time. It was called Osiris, and it took them a year and a half to reach the shores of the Americas, a year and a half, according to biblical prophecy, not prophecy, according to the book of Second Esdras. One thing about our people, we've always kept records of what we've traveled and everything, because the Most High wanted us to do that. And this was passed down to generation to generation. Now, to let you know, we've already talked about it in a previous commentary, that King James that translated the Bible from Hebrew into English, this was done prophetically because King James, if you did not know it, King James was Hebrew himself, also in Europe. Look at some of the things that King James did. Here is a man that was brought up in the England area, a black man brought up, and is responsible for uniting Ireland, Scotland, and England as one country, as one nation, known today as the United Kingdom. Look it up. Look at the coat of arms of the UK and see the pictures, the historical pictures that they have. Those were black people there in England. I'm not making this up. This is a historical fact, but they just don't publicize it. You can go to Cambridge University and see the coat of arms of King James, and you will see evidence, artifact evidence of all this is the facts that we were in control of United Kingdom, not Queen Elizabeth that you see today, but the fact is King James was a black man. And because they took this over, he was beheaded because of the uniting that he did. But we talked about that previously, but we're right now going to go ahead and finish up the book of Jasher. We're in chapter 82. Just want to just kind of give you a sidetrack of what's going on. So Christopher Columbus did not discover America. He just picked up the book, and he already had record of how they already went to the Americas. Now, the reason why they didn't go to the Americas previously, because the Most High set it up that way because he wanted the northern tribes to be settled in North America, Central and South America to get there for a time. But when they started going away from the Most High, they went into idolatry and started worshiping the sun. That's where the pyramids came in Central and South America, the worshiping of the sun. If you've seen the movie Apocalypto, you will see some of the idolatry that they used to do there today. Remember when the young lad and his wife, well, his family were captured, and they went into one of the villages, and you see them doing cutting people's heads off, sacrificing to the sun. Well, all that is idolatry. And this is the reason why the Most High God took his hand off the people of the Mayans, the Aztecs, all the Native American Indians. Notice the totem poles that the tribe of Gad, the Native American Indians, have. Those totem poles start worshiping the eagle and start worshiping all these other animals and such. All these things were idolatry, and this is why the Native American Indians fell into captivity under the people from Europe. When they came over here, the Native American Indians lost all that land, as well as the Aztecs, the northern tribe, like your Mexicans today, because they were enslaved by the Cordicor, if I'm pronouncing it right. They were in captivity by the Cordicitors, and this is where the Roman Catholic Church began to start making waves over here into this area, bringing forth Christianity. Now, we already knew God, but we fell away from God again here in the Americas and started worshiping the sun. And when that happened, here comes the Europeans coming in with their Christian Catholic doctrine. This is what you have going on today. Now, getting back to the lesson, because I'm kind of sidetracking a little bit, I just wanted to just kind of give you a little bit of the history there. And we're going to talk about that at a later date, talk about how the Conquistadors came into power here in the Central and South America, Central America known as Mexico, Guatemala, and all of them, where the northern tribe of Israel has settled for a particular time. So this is why you have all these books deleted, because they did not want the true Israelites to really find out who they were. Jasher chapter 82, verse 1. And the children of Israel proceeded from Rephidim, and they encamped in the wilderness of the Sinai in the 3rd month from their going forth from Egypt. Just want to let you know we are going into our overtime. Anytime you call in, if you have any questions, you just press 1 on your phone. Any comments, you press 1 on your phone, and we'll see that you have that, and we will take your calls at that particular time. Came Rahu, Reuel the Midianite, the father-in-law of Moses, with Zipporah, his daughter, and her 2 sons. for he had heard of the wonders of the Most High, which he had done to Israel, that he had delivered them from the hand of Egypt. This is beginning to be a great fame around the area, that the Israelites' God had delivered the Israelites from Egypt's captivity. And they heard about the Red Sea. They didn't have CNN, they didn't have Facebook, they didn't have Twitter, and all this information went forth throughout the land that the Most High God had to destroy the Egyptians that enslaved them in Egypt. Verse 3, and Reuel came to Moses to the wilderness where he was encamped, where was the mountain of God. And Moses went forth to meet his father-in-law with great honor, and all Israel was with him. Now, remember that Moses, in previous chapters of Jasher, Moses was king over the Canaanites before he went into captivity under his father-in-law for a period of time because they didn't trust Moses. We read that in previous chapters on that. But Zipporah, his wife, supported him, and his father-in-law, Moses' father-in-law didn't know that his daughter was doing all this because they thought Moses was dead in the dungeon for over 10 years. Verse 4, and Moses went forth to meet his father-in-law with great honor, and all Israel was with him, all 12 tribes, and that had to be close to 1 million people. What a great task that Moses had to lead all those people who doubted God to bring them out, but because the Most High had a covenant with Abraham, Isaac, as well as Jacob, he had to bring forth the children because he always honors his words. He changes not. Verse 5, and Reuel and his children remained among the Israelites for many days, and Reuel knew the Most High from that day forward. Verse 6, and in the 3rd month from the children of Israel's departure from Egypt, on the 6th day thereof, the Most High gave to Israel the 10 commandments of Mount Sinai. Verse 7, and all Israel heard all these commandments, and all Israel rejoiced exceedingly in the Most High on that day. Verse 8, and the glory of the Most High rested upon Mount Sinai, and he called to Moses, and Moses came in the midst of a cloud and ascended the mountain. Verse 9, and Moses was upon the mount 40 days and 40 nights. Oh, here we go. Verse 9 again. And Moses was upon the mount 40 days and 40 nights. He ate no bread and drank no water, and the Lord instructed him in the statutes and judgments in order to teach them to the children of Israel. Now, he fasted 40 days and 40 nights, just like our Savior Christ did. Verse 10, and the Lord wrote the 10 commandments which he had commanded the children of Israel upon 2 tablets of stone, which he gave to Moses to command the children of Israel. Verse 11, and at the end of 40 days and 40 nights, when the Lord had finished speaking to Moses on Mount Sinai, then the Lord gave to Moses the tablets of stone, written with the finger of the Most High. Verse 12, and when the children of Israel saw that Moses tarried to come down from the mount, they gathered round Aaron and said, as for this man Moses, we know not what has become of him. Now you see this. Here's the doubting, complaining, and watch what happens. Verse 13, now therefore rise up and make unto us a God who shall go before us, so that thou shalt not die. See, they've taken on the ways of the Egyptians because the Egyptians had their pagan ways of worshiping a whole lot of idols. And therefore, see, my my thing is Joseph and the children of Israel stayed in Egypt too long. We were never supposed to stay in Egypt that period of time. But we got away and we started becoming like the Egyptians, started following their gods. And therefore, the Most High God took his hands off the children of Israel. And therefore, we went into captivity and Egypt was now our master. Verse 14, and Aaron was greatly afraid of the people, and he ordered them to bring him gold, and he made it into a molten calf for the people. Verse 15, and the Lord said to Moses, before he had come down from the mount, get thee down, for thy people whom thou didst bring forth from Egypt have corrupted themselves. Verse 16, they have made to themselves a molten calf and have bowed down to it. Now therefore leave me, that I may consume them from off the earth. For they are a stiff-necked people. Now tell me if this is not our people. We do one thing and then turn around and do the next. Our people, these Negroes here, saw our God deliver us from there. But, you know, now that we got our freedom, we want to do this and we want to do it our way. We want to believe now, I'm bringing you up to date. We want to believe and not the Most High God. Now, if, you know, we've taken on and we think that Barack Obama is this and Barack Obama is that. Now, Barack Obama says he is a Christian, but what kind of Christian? What is a Christian? Show me the ways of the Christian in the Bible. Show me all the laws and statutes that Barack Obama is doing. Is it authorized or going on the side of the gay and lesbian community, saying that we can go ahead and approve this particular law? Now, I'm just speaking truth. This is not a hate message. This is all according to what thus saith the Lord. Now, what happened? Now, we did this in a previous lesson in the book of Jasher. See, I'm getting sidetracked, but I got to explain this. In the book of Jasher, we found out what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. Not only did they have so many homosexual activity, but they had lawlessness, and a lot of laws were in there were dumbfounded. Now, you can look back on some of the previous chapters that we had. I think it's in chapter 35 or something like that. I have to look it up, or you can look it up. But the laws of Sodom and Gomorrah was so hideous that the Most High did not want to even save Lot's family. But Abraham interceded for Lot and therefore sent angels to bring Lot and them out. But they were so caught up in the lifestyle, Lot had to deal with his wife. His wife was something else. She didn't want to leave that arena. She did not want to leave that lifestyle that all they had built up in Sodom and Gomorrah. And so she turned around because she did have children that fell by the wayside that did not make it out of Sodom and Gomorrah. And see, you know, when you don't have this information, you kind of speculate a little bit in Genesis, because Genesis does not tell the complete story. And therefore, Lot made it out with his children and, you know, came back to Abraham, and, you know, who is his uncle. And what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? It was destroyed off the face of the earth. Now I'm going to give y'all a hint. Well, not a hint. I'm going to say this, and I don't have time to go to it right now, but this country that we're living in that enslaved the children of Israel, who are your Negro people here in the Americas. So God is, what the Most High God is doing is he's bringing the nations, his people, together. And what's going to happen is, if this country don't repent and listen to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he is going to destroy this country. In Revelation, this country is known as spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt. Now, it says spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt. Now, spiritual Sodom represents the homosexuality lifestyle that's going on in this country today. Spiritual Egypt is the captivity of our people that were enslaved in Egypt back in those times. Now, if you understand and if you can wake up and know Scripture, you can be saved. Believing in Christ, believe on the Christ is one thing, but enduring to the end you shall be saved. So you've got to know this word, because this word is alive and speaking well. Now, I got kind of sidetracked off of that because I wanted to share with you of who this country is, all its lifestyle. Don't believe in man. Don't even believe the words I say. You've got to research it, and you've got to see it for yourself. Now, getting back to the lesson, because the Most High God fitting to get ready to do some reprimand, and some serious reprimand for the sins that the children of Israel are doing when they are now in the wilderness. And when Moses approached the camp and saw, well, let me go back here, verse 17. And Moses besought the countenance of the Most High, and he prayed to the Lord for the people on account of the calf which they had made. And he afterward descended from the mount, and in his hands were the 2 tablets of stone, which the Most High God had given him to command the Israelites. Verse 18, and when Moses approached the camp and saw the calf which the people had made, the anger of Moses was kindled, and he broke the tablets under the mount. Now, he's upset because the Most High God had already told him that the children of Israel, now all that we went through, after all that we went through, Moses leaving his family Zipporah to come and get these Negroes and these Latinos and all the 12 tribes, the rest of them, out of the hands of Egypt. All this persecution from a heathen nation of Egypt. They enslaved us. He got us out. We had repented, and we wanted to be delivered, and now we going back to the ways, and we don't even have our slave masters on us. This is what the Most High God is angry about. He did all that. That's like Christ did what he did. Get up on that cross to die for us, and we don't appreciate it. Now, I don't know about you, but I just thank Christ for paying the price for our sins. Now we are in grace, but you got to understand what grace is. Now, in the natural, you have a grace period to pay a bill. Your bill is due on the 1st, but the bill company is going to give you 5 days to get it in, or they will charge you a late fee. Same way goes for us right now. We can ask for forgiveness, but this forgiveness is for us, to get ourselves together with the Most High God. But when Christ comes back, and if we're not ready, grace period is over with. And then if we're not ready as to being ready with all that God has to do, then we're going to suffer the consequences of our actions, because the grace period is now over. So I hope you all understand we're still we still got to obey the law, but if we don't, that gives us time to get it right. Grace means that he's given us time to understand the laws, to know the laws, for us to obey and do the laws. Now, if we mess up, 1 John 1:9 says, confess your sins and he shall forgive you. So we have to get that together. And if we get it together, he'll restore us back into righteousness. This is what grace is all about, that grace to get it together. Just like in the natural, your bill companies give you a grace amount of time. If you can't get it in on the 1st, he gives you 4 more days. Oh, you can pay it, within those 4 days. On the 5th or 6th day, if you have not paid your bill, he taxes on the late fees to you. Now, I just kind of gave you an example on that. Let me get back to the lesson. We are running out of time. And Moses again went to the Lord, and he remained with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. 40 days and 40 nights. Verse 23, and during the 40 days did Moses entreat the Lord in behalf of the children of Israel, and the Lord hearkened to the prayer of Moses, and the Lord was entreated of him in behalf of Israel. Verse 24. Then spoke the Lord to Moses to the 2 tablets, and to bring them up to the Lord, who would write upon them commandments. Verse 25. Now Moses did so, and he came down and hewed the 2 tablets, and went up to Mount Sinai to the Lord, and the Lord wrote the 10 commandments upon the tablets. Verse 26. And Moses remained with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. I think I already had read this before, if it's not a repeat. And Moses remained yet with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights. And the Lord instructed him in the statutes and judgments of the commandments. Verse 20, let's go jump down to verse 28. And at the end of the 40 days, Moses came down from the mount of the 2 tablets. Verse 29, and Moses came to the children of Israel and spoke to them all the words of the Lord. And he taught them laws, statutes, and judgment, which the Lord taught him. Verse 30, and Moses told the children of Israel the word of the Lord, that a sanctuary should be made for him to dwell among the children of Israel. Verse 31, and the people rejoiced greatly at all the good which the Lord has spoken to them through Moses. And they said, we will do all that the Lord has spoken to thee. Verse 32, and the people rose up like one man, and they made generous offerings to the sanctuary of the Lord. And each man brought the offering of the Lord for the work of the sanctuary and for all its service. Verse 33, and the children of Israel bought each man of all that was found in his possession for the work of the sanctuary of the Lord, gold, silver, and brass, and everything that was servable for that particular sanctuary. Remember, they got all this from the Egyptians that they required of them before they were leaving Egypt. That's where all the silver and gold came from. Verse 34, and all the wise men who were practiced in work came and made the sanctuary of the Lord according to all the Lord had commanded, every man in the work in which he had practiced. And all the wise men in heart made the sanctuary and its furniture, and all the vessels for the holy service, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Verse 35, and the work of the sanctuary of the tabernacle was complete at the end of 5 months. And the children of Israel did all that the Lord had commanded Moses. Verse 36, and they brought the sanctuary and all the furniture to Moses, like unto the representation which the Lord had showed to Moses. So did the children of Israel. Verse 37, and Moses saw the work, and behold, they did it as the Lord had commanded him. So Moses, and it was the 12th month in the 23rd day of the month. Moses took Aaron and his son, And he dressed them in their garments, and anointed them, and did unto them as the Lord had commanded him. And Moses brought up all the offerings which the Lord had on that day commanded him. Verse 2, Moses afterward took Aaron and his sons and said to them, For 7 days shall you remain at the door of the tabernacle, for thus I am commanded. Verse 3, And Aaron and his sons did all that the Lord had commanded them through Moses, and they remained for 7 days at the door of the tabernacle. Verse 4, And on the 8th day, being the first day of the first month, in the 2nd year from the Israelites' departure from Egypt, Moses erected the sanctuary. And Moses put up all the furniture of the tabernacle, and all the furniture of the sanctuary. And he did all that the Lord had commanded him. Verse 5, And Moses called to Aaron and his sons, and they brought the burnt offering and the sin offering for themselves and the children of Israel, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Verse 6, And on that day the 2 sons of Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, took strange fire and brought it before the Lord, who had not commanded them, and a fire went forth from before the Lord and consumed them, and they died before the Lord on that day. We'll have to come back on that. Verse 7, Then on the day when Moses had completed to erect the sanctuary, the princes of the children of Israel began to bring the offering before the Lord for the dedication of the altar. Verse 8, And they brought up their offering each prince for 1 day, a prince each day for 12 days. Verse 9, And all the offerings which they brought each man in his day, 1 silver charger weighing 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekels of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering. Verse 10, 1 spoon weighing 10 shekels of gold, full of incense. Verse 11, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year of the burnt offering. Verse 12, and 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering. Verse 13, and for a sacrifice of peace offering, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of a year old, princes of Israel, day by day, each man in his day. Verse 15, and it was after this, in the 13th day of the month, that Moses commanded the children of Israel to observe the Passover. Verse 16, and the children of Israel kept the Passover in its season in the 14th day of the month. As the Lord had commanded Moses, so did the children of Israel. Verse 17, and in the 2nd month, on the 1st day thereof, the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, verse 18, Number the heads of all the males of the children of Israel from 20 years old and upward, thou and thy brother Aaron and the 12 princes of Israel. Verse 19, and Moses did so, and Aaron came with the 12 princes of Israel, and they numbered the children of Israel in the wilderness of the Sinai. The wilderness is in the Sinai, which is still there today. Verse 20, and the number of the children of Israel by the house of their father from 20 years old and upward were 603,550. Verse 21, but the children of Levi were not numbered among their brethren, the children of Israel. Verse 22, and the number of all the males of the children of Israel from 1 month old and upward was 22,273. Verse 23, and the number of the children of Levi from 1 month old and above was 22,000. Verse 24, and Moses placed the priests of the Levites, each man to his service and to his burden, to serve the sanctuary of the tabernacle as the Lord had commanded Moses. Remember, the tribe or the children of Levites are the Haitians today. Verse 25, and on the 20th day of the month, the cloud was taken away from the tabernacle of the testimony. 26. At that time, the children of Israel continued their journey from the wilderness of the Sinai, and they took a journey of 3 days. And the cloud rested upon the wilderness of Paran. There the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, for they had provoked the Lord in asking him for meat, oh boy, that they might eat. Now, he's already serving them manna, and now they're not grateful, upset. Verse 27, and the Lord hearkened to their voice and gave them meat, which they ate for 1 month. Verse 28, but after the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he smote them with a great slaughter, and they were buried there in that place. Verse 29, and the children of Israel called that place Kiboret Hatavah, because there they buried the people that lusted flesh. Verse 30, and they departed from Kiboret Hatavah, and pitched in all these Hebrew words to pronounce. Hazeroth, which is in the wilderness of Paran. Verse 31, and whilst the children of Israel were in Hazeroth, the anger of the Lord was kindled against Miriam on account of Moses, and she became leprous, white as snow, and she was confined without the camp for 7 days, meaning she was outside the camp of Israel because of her leprosy for 7 days until she had been received again after her leprosy. Verse 33, the children of Israel afterward departed from Hazeroth and pitched in the end of the wilderness of Paran. Verse 34, at that time the Most High spoke to Moses to send 12 men from the children of Israel, one man to a tribe, to go and explore the land of Canaan. All right, here's where Joshua's getting ready to come now. He's mighty and powerful. Verse 35, and Moses sent the 12 men, and they came to the land of Canaan to search and examine it. And they explored the whole land from the wilderness of Sin to the Rekah, as thou comest to Chemoth. Verse 36. And at the end of the 40 days they came to Moses and Aaron, and they brought him word as it in their hearts. And 10 of the men brought up an evil report to the children of Israel of the land which they had explored, saying, it is better for us to return to Egypt. My goodness. Now, here they got their freedom, and now they want to go back to the slave master. I'm getting upset now. All right. The children of Israel of the land which they had explored, saying, it is better for us to return to Egypt. Now, you mean to tell, I can see why these Negroes, oh, man, you know, I'm getting revelation of that. I know I'm running out of time. I'm not going to elaborate on that much, but y'all understand what I'm thinking. It is better for us to return to Egypt than to go to this land, a land that consumes its inhabitants. Verse 37. But Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, who were of those that explored the land, said, the land is exceedingly good. Verse 38, then he will bring us to this land and give it to us, for it is a land flowing with milk and honey. Verse 39, but the children of Israel would not hearken to them, and they hearkened to the words of the 10 men who had brought up the evil report of the land. Verse 40, and the Lord heard the murmuring of the children of Israel, and he was angry and swore, saying, verse 41, surely not one man of this wilderness generation shall see the land from 20 years old and upward, except Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. Verse 42, But surely this wicked generation shall perish in the wilderness, and their children shall come to the land, and they shall possess it. So the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness for 40 years until the end of that wicked generation, because they did not follow the Most High. Verse 43, our last verse for the night. And the people dwelt in the wilderness of Paran a long time, and they afterward proceeded to the wilderness by the way, the Red Sea. Now, we're going to conclude there, and we will be back tomorrow with the other chapters of the book of Jasher. We're winding this thing down, y'all. So it's been a long from chapter 1. I'm glad you all been with me from chapter 1 all the way, and we're going to end it out at 91. So we've just finished chapter 81 through 83. So this has been a late night, and it is 1 a.m. in the Central Time Zone. Now, this is Brother Malachi going to say shalom to you all, and we will see you tomorrow the same time. Next week, we will go back to the 10 o'clock hour on our broadcast starting on Monday. So, going to leave you with Richard Shepherd Jr. to Zion. For everyone else, my name is Brother Malachi, signing off for the Men Empowered Organization right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network. Good night.
I was lost, but now I'm found. I'm a child of Israel. I heard the sound. Please give me the strength to stand today. With my eyes towards the east, show me the way. Please don't let me fall, give me the strength. Place my feet, Lord, guide my path, show me the way to Zion. I opened up the book and see that the apple of your eye included me, and through the tribulation I know I must stand.